Hi. Okay, let's see if everything is in it. I've been here for 7 minutes trying to connect to YouTube. Thank you, my darling. I just got my catacorn, so maybe that's the reason why we had to wait. Thank you, sweetie. All right, welcome. Akasha here, Nana Akasha. and I welcome you to this spiritual weather report. So we're experimenting with doing these on Thursday so that I can give you a little bit of lead time for what we're doing. And so we may be changing that, but there is on my channel right here is a playlist. So you can go there and you can see every spiritual weather report I've ever done. And you can pick what topic is interesting to you. So my goal is to not just tell you what's happening right now and what's the best way to enter this, like going out in a particular kind of weather or for a particular kind of trip. If you're going out to hike in the mountains, you wear certain clothes, you take certain things, you expect certain things, right? However, we weren't taught that. So this is also an educational tool that goes beyond just what we're doing right now in this second. Because as you learn each time we have a full moon and we talk about the energies of the full moon, you're going to learn more and sense more and remember more what it's like to be in a full moon. They're always going to be different because of all the other energies. That's what we're looking at. So you have a life where you are in the stream, right, so to speak, with other people. There's other people in your life, maybe in your home, maybe in your family, in your work, in everything you do. So you have relationships to those people, and those people or places could be a particular place, like a lake or a mountain. It could be a particular building. It could be your school that you go to, right? You have a relationship with it. And depending on if you're right in the school or the work building or the house or not, if you're right outside of it in the yard, or if you're across the street, or if you're down the street, or you're in a different town, or you're in a different country, you're going to have a different feeling or relationship with that building or that person. And that's what we're talking about. When the planets, because they're living beings with particular personalities, just like you and me. And therefore, as they enter a space and come into town, so to speak, the closer they get, the more we feel them, the more impact they have on us. Your relationship changes. And as they fade away. So what we're looking at right now is that it is February 9th of 2023. We've been in a big, obvious meltdown now for several years, and we're going to continue. The next interesting thing that's happening is Saturn. Saturn is the planet of rules, restrictions, the strict father, the taskmaster, the one that always says no, that tries to limit you. And yet, every energy on the planet has good and bad, we might call it, positive, negative, masculine, feminine, right, spiritual, material aspects to it. So you could take the idea of somebody who's strict and say, wow, if they're way up in my face, it's my dad saying, you can't have this, and I'm taking this freedom away from you, and you're grounded, or something like that. It could be that kind of an authority figure. It could have that kind of energy on you. You could really feel it. And then what's that energy going to do? It's going to push all of your own inner restrictions, your own inner beliefs and voices, the conditioning you have, the soul blueprint that you brought with you. You're going to have all of those things coming right into oh my gosh, I'm being poked. I can feel it. I can feel this other energy. And they're going to start to express within you those restrictive beliefs, those limiting beliefs, those ones that say, do it again. You didn't do it. You're not good enough. Do it over. Then if we turn the dial, remember, please, huge lesson right here. There is no hot and cold. There's only degrees. It's the same thing. Hot and the cold are the same thing. If you had a dial and you turned from 0 all the way up to 100, you would see an external response. It would go from being cooler or cold to hotter or hot. And there's a different place in all throughout that scale. And you find the one that you love. Maybe you have it on your thermostat or in your house, and it automatically is keeping the house at that temperature. That's what your beliefs do, okay? That's what your conditioned mind does. You're over here saying, I'm ready for something new. I'm ready to expand. I'm ready to, grow and be out there and step into my new life and leave my fear and leave my doubt and stop listening to everyone else. And those ideas within you that come from your soul, from agreements and vows that you've made that relate to whatever the topic is, all right, will automatically be triggered and get louder and will come up. Then you're going to feel like, oh no, maybe I shouldn't do this. I have all this doubt. I have all this worry. I was trusting myself, but now I'm not. Okay? That dial, this is a universal law. Everything is the same. It's just different in degree. It's a law of vibration. Everything is vibrating. Everything is energy. You and a feeling, you and a thought, you and that building you have a relationship to. Okay, so that's what we look at in intuitive astrology is what I do. I read energies, I see energies, I talk to all forms of realms. I'm always working on increasing the ability to cleanse, clear, and upgrade the intuitive network, clearly hear more clear messages on more levels with more senses that are optimal for me at this time to awaken. And that's what I do with you in my work with you sessions or in class, like the Money Intuition class. We still have people joining the Money Intuition class. It is really, truly one of the most powerful topics you can work on, not because money's the most important thing, but because emotionally money has been made the most important thing. We kill for it, we die for it, we get desperate for it. We believe there isn't enough of it. We believe that there should be more of it. We wish that we hadn't lost it all. We don't trust ourselves, and on, okay? And I'm sorry to say I typically don't do that. This is a common pattern. I want you to own your own path because most of us have worked through a lot of that. And that's what we're talking about right now with Saturn. Saturn, being that strict master, also has the other degree. Let's say that's 100% cold, 0 on this thermostat, then Saturn can also be every other version of that strict rule enforcer, okay? So then if you dial that up, instead of going all the way to the other extreme, what's the other extreme of being completely controlling? Well, it's being completely controlling in a different way, right? Maybe it's a passive way. Maybe it's saying, I know you'll do the right thing, which really means I know you'll do my thing, my idea. Now, but let's look at a Zen master. It's a great example. Let's think about the Karate Kid, the movie, for an example. The kid's like, teach me karate. And he's like, no, teach me karate. No, that's a very traditional story of an awakening student, that's everyone on the planet, going to a teacher or a master and saying, oh, I'm ready, teach me. And the master saying, no, you're not. No, you're not. In general, watching to see if your energy is going to be able to handle the massive upgrade. Well, we don't have a choice. We're all in this now together, this accelerated evolution. So February is about you leaping. Okay, you are leaping. And what you want to do, I find it interesting they call that leap year. Anyway, what you want to do is realize that if Saturn represented instead the teacher, the mentor that you hired to make you excellent at what you do, then if your soul said, okay, Saturn, this is your specialty. As I go through this particular life, as me here now, I know there's going to be this terrain and this weather, and there's going to be this accelerated evolution. And in order to move through that, everyone on the planet has to complete their old karmic patterns. That's another thing that Saturn represents, karma. All right, so what is more intense than a karmic pattern that won't go away? Not much, right? That means that something that you keep repeating, something you feel stuck inside of, something you feel powerless to break free of, you have to keep cleansing and clearing. your energy field and raising it up, right? Up leveling it so that you can actually have the expertise, the capacity, the strength, the wisdom, the knowledge, the self-trust, the ability to bring yourself into the center to handle the higher energies that are coming. I want you to be really careful. As we upgrade, it's going to either be massive suffering or, wow, this is interesting. We're not going to go through this decade and then moving into this new reality and world that we're claiming, connecting to, if we have any way of having, hang on, I've got to turn this off. There we go. If we keep holding on to old karma, if we keep holding on to old patterns, beliefs, and systems. So you have to come to peace with the fact that the way we do things, how we relate to each other, how we see each other, how we do everything is changing. And if we do our part by saying, okay, Saturn has come and it's conjunct the sun, okay? The sun is your ego, your self, your gold God ray, your ability to hold space. It's life force. It's the gold ray. The gold ray brings everything you need. Here, create something. Ooh, here's my life, okay? So Sun and Saturn are having a conversation. And what's the really interesting part about that conversation is that it's about karma. And it's not going to be happening again for almost 29 years. So as this is completing, we need to say, oh, okay, what patterns in my karmic path, old fears, old vows, ones I can see, ones I know, ones I went and did a session with Akasha, and now I know it came from that past life, or I'm doing the money intuition class, so I'm doing that, or I'm going on the dolphin retreat because I know that they are going to help me recalibrate, okay? So the healing and the recalibration is what's happening to the planet and to you. Excuse me one second. Okay, had to have my lemon water with my flamingos. Okay, so Catacorn's next. We have all of our magic here. So what happens when you have karma pushed up, when you have fears pushed up, when you get triggered? It's an opportunity. Okay, and you want to start seeing it that way. Otherwise, you get tangled in the web of, oh no, this is happening again. I'm never going to get out. Why me? I'm so ashamed. I feel miserable. It's that person's fault. It's my fault. And you're way down at the lower states of consciousness on the scale. When you're in that state, you can't think clearly. You can't see clearly. It's very difficult to believe the light is coming to you. Thank you. Hola, Ra. ¿Cómo estás? And so as we're already in our Infinity Healing Chamber, by the way, I want to remind you that before the call, I do all of my own light body work, my Infinity light weaving, my cleansings, my clearings. I set space. I call on my guides. And I ask to be a clear and open channel for the highest good of all concerned. So everything that comes through here, I trust implicitly that there is a message in it there somewhere for you. You have to realize that you have your hand on the dial. And as Saturn is going to come in and out of relationship with you, you're going to go home. And if it's a building, and then you're going to leave it. And when you're in it, you're going to feel it really intensely, and you're going to feel a little bit less. And then it's going to go far, far away. And you're not going to feel it quite so much. So this is the master that is attempting to make you the best, to show you if you do this now, if you tie up these loose ends, if you complete what's happened, especially any of the karma that's come up, then walk into it, process it, embrace it, reclaim the power from it. Then you will emerge an expert in you or whatever it is. And now Saturn has served a very powerful purpose by saying, no, you're not ready yet. You've got to do it again. You need to practice. You need to make ready. You need to stop being afraid of it. You need to stop letting the doubt voice drag you back down. Okay, when you get dragged into lower states, get the scale of consciousness in the shop. And when you get dragged down to lower states, take a look at it. Notice where you are, because you are, we're doing a little sun dance here. Woo, rainbows. So all I can think of is Sundance. So when you understand the state you're in, then you don't require ridiculous things from yourself, and you start to accept where you are so you can go back up out of that state to a higher state of consciousness, hopefully to a power state, which starts at courage. Courage can feel forced, but it really is the state where you allow yourself to be supported. You finally say, oh, okay, I'm going to be courageous and step forward. I'm going to go on that dolphin retreat, even if I'm afraid to swim or I'm afraid of heights. Yes, no lie. We had an incredible woman come 2 times in a row, and she was afraid of heights. And it's not like we do a lot of heights, but we do climb pyramid. And she's afraid of water, and we're in the water with the dolphins, and we're in the water of the sacred cenotes, the pure waters that hold all the Atlantean codes that we're going to be collecting. So what does karma mean? It means the key codes that you've been carrying of who you are and what you need to do are complete. And therefore, as we go into Pisces, Pisces is going to dissolve, okay? It's going to dissolve structures and infrastructures. This, again, can look really scary down here at 0, but you could turn it to the middle and go, wow, we really need to break down the structure that says women aren't as good as men. Intuition is silly and stupid. You have to do a job the way I think you should do a job, or you're not responsible. I know better than you, all outside authority. So you're going to be graciously and gratefully appreciating both the structure you've had to help you become strong, centered. Because when you leave home, right, when you go out of the nest after that master saying, do it this way, you have gained your freedom because you now have the strength within you to know you can handle it, you know what to do, you believed in yourself, you learned who you were, you activated your light body, okay? These are the things that are more important than anything else. Don't get distracted by a lot of bells and whistles, okay? Find something that you can, this is, and if you're doing work with certain meditations, classes, processes, whatever it is, and it's dragging you down, you need to do one of 2 things. First, you have to stop and you have to accept it. That gives you the ability to rise out of it and be the observer. When you transcend something, you can look at it. Is this a really good thing for me to do? Well, I can promise you that in money intuition, even in intuition awakening of all kinds, you're going to be hitting a little bit of your fear. Am I good enough? Are they better than me? Can I do this? Did I do it right? Those are very common issues, and we love to poke them because then they come up, we can embrace them, we can accept them, we can rise out of them and now harmonize with new possibilities. So if you're looking for ways to make more money, if you're looking for ways to do the things you want, if you're looking for a relationship that's more full of support and freedom with yourself or others, then you want to become that observer. You want to go into the state of acceptance, let your emotional body forgive. It just lets go. You just let it happen, okay? Then as you transcend, you see more 5D. You see more without the judgment of yourself and what's happened and where you're going. This is the way you have to go. This is the inevitable path forward. There's no other way around it. And the more you chase things that aren't on your soul's path, and you don't listen to your inner authority, and you keep chasing someone else's life, someone else's dream, and all the fear out there, you have to realize we're going into the age of AI, and there can be wonderful, wonderful things about it, of course. However, when we lose the heart and we lose the spiritual connection, then all hell literally breaks loose. We see hell as our reality. That's the 0, but you don't have to stay there. When you accept what's happening and the way you feel about it, like I'm afraid of myself and money, or I'm stuck in a pattern with with some kind of self-sabotage, right? Like you keep doubting yourself, or you keep not making that phone call, or not saying yes to the client who's sitting next to you and wants to hire you, or whatever it is. Then you can stay in your fear, but you have to become conscious you're making that choice. Nobody's keeping it from you. What you need right now is here. So as the sun is going to say, hey, guess what? The sun and Saturn is putting a light on that. And therefore, the restriction you felt, the old beliefs about yourself, money, where things come from, your worthiness, what's possible, how you can live, where you could go, what you can do. You could do something like go on a dolphin retreat, the one we're doing in March, or start learning, go to school, back to school, or buy a house, or leave a relationship, or get into a relationship. There's some love coming, right? We got Valentine's Day coming next week, and a lot of love energy. I'll talk about it in a minute. But this is very important, because when we complete something and the spiritual weather is helping us to know that, hey, you really can't move forward without this. You've got to finish this first. It's kind of like the mom keeps interrupting the kid playing the video games, right? In that movie, you didn't take the trash out. You didn't take the trash out. You didn't take the trash out, right? It's like, I can't do it right now. That is the voice right now that may be saving your butt in the future, because we have no planets in retrograde. We're moving forward fast. Mercury is now, I think yesterday, ending its shadow phase. So the perception is that Mercury and other planets go backwards. They don't. Okay. And then when they stop going retrograde, they hang. It's sort of like the momentum, and then they kind of wait. And this is the shadow phase. And then they start to pick up momentum to go direct again. That's energy. Intuitively, you have to interpret that energy. Where am I in this cycle? So the fact that we have nothing retrograde. Now, Uranus is going to be doing the same thing in a couple of days. It's going to end its shadow phase. And Uranus is about transformation, disruption, big changes, but it also means freedom. So those energies are key. You need to pay attention. I think the people doing money intuition right now are insanely brave, because we're in a culture full of fear and lack. We're in a time when the economy's having some strange issues, and the markets are down, and the inflation is up, and it's just another phase of fear. We had the pandemic. What did it do? It pushed the fear to the surface, and now we function with full awareness that those kinds of things are out there, and that my inner energy is what really aligns me with the optimal path, and not. And if it comes, then I accept what is, and I walk through it, understanding. So those energies are here for you. Now, the Pisces thing is, when I'm talking and interpreting intuitive different signs or different planets or different asteroids. So today I'm going to talk about Ceres, and I'm going to talk about Vesta. And they're asteroids. They're also goddesses. And it's very important that we track the sacred feminine energies, because we have to embody them intentionally, consciously, more than ever before. You can't make a shift if you stay 100% in your old way of thinking. You have to start to dial it a little bit out, whoop, took a leap, a little bit out. And you don't necessarily want to go to the other extreme. However, we've had such extreme of suppressing sacred feminine, intuition, creation, women in all forms, this feminine within humans in all forms. So we need to come back to center. We may go a little bit to this side, but we can hold that. So we want to enjoy those energies. But we're interpreting what the energies mean in relationship to each other, the moment in time, and a lot of other energies. I am not in any way telling you, if you are a Pisces, you are XYZ, okay? I am not interpreting you. You have your own chart. And if you have Pisces, or Saturn is a part of your chart, or let's say the sun is the ruler of Leo. So if you have some of that, and it's a very powerful, extra powerful sign for you. Or we have the sun conjunct Saturn in Aquarius. So maybe you have Aquarius as part of your chart. If I talk about Aquarius in this situation, I'm not talking about you specifically, okay? So Get out of those things. And allow yourself to feel the energies. When you get stuck on, well, I'm not that way, that doesn't mean me, or I refuse that, or I don't like that, that's fine. You have free will. Your free will is your choice to receive what you're been guided. If you're listening to this, if you're guided to go on a particular trip, if you're guided to move somewhere, that energy is calling you. You have a relationship with it, and your responsibility is to clear and cleanse your intuition enough, get in tune to your guides, get in tune to all of the supportive energies, stop listening to the negative voice. So AI is in a phase of becoming extremely detrimental and becoming incredibly powerful. So it has the ability. We can take AI and dial it to 0. We can just dial it to 100. We don't want either of those extremes, but you're going to see more of that. No technology, all technology. But the thing is that some people are taking technology and using it to steal your information, to hack your bank account, to try to force you to buy something from them, to be full of fear, to believe in one particular person and vote for them. We're seeing this everywhere. There's no way for you to avoid it. You can blame anybody you want, but you're the one that has to now grow up and decide, how much do I watch? What do I watch? When do I watch it? And why? All right? Now, you do what you want. I don't watch the news ever. I stopped that 40, 50 years ago. I don't even know. 40, I guess. And I never really did in the first place. I never watched much TV, and I still don't watch a lot. I like to watch my pets, my otters, my cats, my bat rescue on YouTube, and happy things and occasional mysteries. That's it. But I never watch things right before I go to sleep. And I'm aware if I look at something that I'm being hypnotized. And I work my energy every day, multiple times a day, in and out of everything that happens during my day, in order to make sure that I'm aligned with my highest good, with my soul's signature, with what's best on my path at this time, aligned optimally. Okay, I do not try to force my agenda on my spirit. I try to listen for the guidance and watch for the clues, and then take a step forward in movement and see what's happening. So I've had a lot of Saturn in my life, a lot of Capricorn. That's a lot of hard work and achievement, and do it again and do it again. And I've even had mentors who literally said that. No, do it again. And it's difficult if you take on your, let's see if I move. Where can I go? Here we go, I think. So it can be difficult when you feel like you're constantly thwarted. But then you have to decide, is it something within me? Is it my inner structure, belief system? Because you are not controlled by anything around you. You attract what's around you. It reflects to you what's going on for you. So this is a moment of saying, I'm completing karma. Now, the good part is that inner structure within who we think we are and how we relate to others is going to be dissolving for years now because of the Saturn in Pisces that's coming. March is going to be a very big month, still fast forward energies, no retrogrades all the way into April. However, think about this, think ahead. If this month I'm supported with love and completing karma and moving forward and leaping, then that's what I need to do. But not like, just figure it out. Leap forward in your inner listening, your inner voices. So what you want to do now is realize that because Mercury is leaving its shadow phase, it's starting to move forward. You're going to have clear communication. That means your intuitive skills are going to take a leap. And the people in the money intuition class, or the people coming to the dolphin communication and healing mind magic retreat in March, are going to have the benefit of what we're doing right now. This leap forward energy is complete karma and move forward fast. Don't bring that baggage with you. Let go of the sun telling you, right? The sun is in this relationship with Saturn in Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius is an air sign. Air typically means the mind, but it also is about technology. It's about electricity. It's about static. Are you having static electricity in your intuitive communication, or are you having a clear, smooth signal? And the image or the message is coming through clearly, then are you clearly interpreting it, or are you forcing it through your fear and making it mean something it doesn't, and then going down that path and getting mad that it didn't work out the way you wanted? All right. So let's see what else we've got. Well, we do have a lot of progress, but so the thing is important is to progress so you don't suffer. The more you resist what is and you don't accept, the more that energy can then really drag on you, because it's like, no, you can't go. I'm going anyway. No, you can't go. I'm going anyway. There could be conflicts within, there could be conflicts without. People do not like change in general. And so the people around you are not going to be thrilled about your changes, yet you have to trust that as you follow your inner self, you will know the path, and people will align or fall away. That's just the way that it will work. Don't make anything about anyone else. Don't blame anyone. And you need to get into that state, because we are bringing our physical reality up through the fourth dimension, which is goo, 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 like this crap we're experiencing, releasing the karma so that we can live in the fifth dimension and above. And the fifth dimension is non-judgmental. It's clear vision. You can see everything. Okay, so with this March being so big is one of the reasons why I came out with this class, and I'm doing the retreat, and the times are arranged to be birthed, stamped as very auspicious dates. So if you ever do take the Money Intuition course, it's stamped with the energies for the date that we started, and we started exactly on time, and we aligned with the moment that the energies said, freedom from money, increasing intuition, money sources, and a complete reboot of a lot of those energies. There's a lot more, but you'll find out if you go and take the class. Now, we have Ceres. Ceres is a earth goddess, is a mother goddess, and she is in retrograde. Now, it's a soft retrograde. So I said we have no planets in retrograde. We don't. This is an asteroid. A lot of people don't talk about the asteroids or don't feel them. I love them because the subtle energies that are weaving through the background are like hearing the songs of the angels, of like remembering that you have subtle bodies, not just this one, boom, 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 hitting you in the face right now. Okay. And that means this love, this nourishing energy is here. And that's fantastic because we want that. We want to be nourished. What do you need when you have the strict inner voices within and without constantly feeling like they're not supporting you? You need love and nourishment. And then you can shift and dial it up to see, thank you, Saturn. I'm really so grateful that I'm completing that karma. So speaking of that, I've had a really wild experience this week with the full moon. I went to a new Mayan pyramid called Edsna, and it was quite incredible. It did a very powerful 2-hour activation, meditation, communication. The dolphins actually came all the way over there. It's nowhere near the water. And the thing is that then I have other things, right, that have karma that have been coming up, a lot of them showing up in my body. As this happens, oh my gosh, as they show up in my body, they are triggering things, emotions, fears, limitations. Okay, oh, I can't do this because of my neck. I can't do that because, and what happened for me was that I came back, had a chiropractor adjustment last night, and immediately went into a very bizarre state. So I've been having weird vision, my neck, pain in the body, as well as just feeling like I'm in a constantly altered state. My brain and head felt like I'd been in the Great Pyramid for 5 days, meditating and ascending. And that was going on all night. It's still happening a little bit now. And I know that it's part of this completing of the karma. I carry a pain in my back that's triggered on and off, even to the point where I couldn't walk, and then I couldn't climb stairs for 3 years except on all fours. And that was a stabbed in the back karma. So in the Money Intuition, we're talking the first class that we're going to keep moving through till Saturday, till we move deeper into the beliefs around money and guilt and shame, and that feeling of embodying you as wealthy and worthy. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of poison that's in there. And so as we have this loving, beautiful Ceres, she's part of being in retrograde is it's more intimate, right? It's more like, come over here, you forgot to nourish yourself. Come over here, you forgot to nurture yourself. Come over here, you forgot you have subtle energies. The divine feminine, the sacred feminine aspect, masculine, feminine, yin, yang, above, below, you have to have polarity for form, is more subtle, but it's completely is the background. So we have to listen, not just to the things that are pounding us in the face, but to those subtle energies, which is why we've allowed it to drown out our true voice. All right, let me just check and make sure everything is going there. Hey, oh, Britt, I know. So the completing of the karma, right? Perfect example that as we complete karma, we have an opportunity to take the low states that are living within us that reflect and attract things and bring them into the light. Okay, so again, that restrictive energy of Saturn being in the light, in ourself, being shown to us at a high state of electric activity and opening the higher mind possibility. All right, so once that leaves the energy of the planet for 29 years, we have to be more in our own center. Now, love energy coming up for Valentine's Day. You may or may not feel in love with who you're with, or you have someone you love in that way. Let it go, okay? Let go again of the outside. Ooh, everybody's talking about be with your loved one, blah, blah, blah. Why do you let that make you feel bad? The same way with, like, if I have money or I don't have money, or if I don't know where the money is, I let it make me feel bad. It dragged me to low states. Why? How is that helpful? You have to stand up and say, okay, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to walk into the swamp every time I go out the back door. I'm going to go out the front door instead. You know, you do the same thing with love. Love is love, and love is here as a powerful energy to support, nourish, and uplift you. So start being like, this is a couple weeks of love energy, and that love energy is not the packaged thing that they sell. It's not the supposed perfect family in the sitcom or whatever that you wish you had. There's no such thing. Okay, believe me, you might want to trade your life for someone else's, but you want to be very careful what you wish for. What you really want to do is start living your own life in your own way from that space. Right, my friend? Beep, beep. Okay, Venus is going to be conjunct Neptune on the 15th in Pisces. So that is Valentine type energy. Now, the energy of that is Venus, okay? Venus is the love goddess. So Venus is what we want. And it can often feel like if Saturn and Venus are having a relationship, or Saturn is coming around, you know, and doing some things closer to it, having bigger impact, it could be somebody blocking what you want and feeling like that. But the thing is that Neptune, right, is our emotions. It's that water again, the water that can overwhelm, drown, drag you down. It could be still, it could be stormy, all right? And there's that trident. What does a trident represent? Okay, this is what Neptune or Poseidon carry. And that representation of the power of the sea in the masculine form, right, is that you take your power and you can send your energy and you can focus your energy, and then you can multiply your energy into 3, and you can focus it and send it out. That means that you can rise out of whatever the deep emotion and karma that's coming up. You want to grab that and feel like, of course, again, Pisces is very intuitive. All right, Pisces is very flow. It's very mutable, and it's very boundaryless. All right, so the challenge is love that has no bounds is not something most of us have experienced. So I want you to tune into that and remember that you are the person that can have the incredible love with no bounds. You could remove the restrictions and the boundaries of what you have going on. Okay? So now Vesta is another asteroid, and Vesta is the Roman name for the goddess of the home and hearth. That means represents, again, the nourishment, the safety of home. This could represent your home. However, your inner home of who you are is the most important home right now. So she's entering Aries, and Aries is the first sign. It's the strongest sign. We're entering Pisces in a couple of weeks, and that's the last sign. Those represent, again, the ending of karma and the beginning. And Aries is headstrong. Aries is fire. Aries is fixed. Cardinal, it starts things. It starts things, all right? So that may pump up your passion. Maybe it's passion for your loved one or sexual passion, but remember, sexual energy, about 75% of sexual energy, if we really allow it to come through our bodies, is for creation. And that's an intuitive process where you bring in your own messages of what to create and how to create in your life. If you truly want to heal, if you truly want to help people, you have to start acting like that healer. So let this turn up the passion for beginning things, okay? Cardinal signs begin things. Now, this may turn up sort of a lust feeling, like a craving feeling, for things that may be good for you or may not be good for you. I want that, I want that, I want that. So watch for the state where you have craving and disappointment. That's an enslavement, that's a loop. Again, it's on the scale. It's the level of addiction or desire in the original scale. Now, this is fiery energy, so you can use it. Again, if we know this, we can say, instead of like, oh, I feel out of control and I'm craving this and that and I'm never going to get it, you can say, wow, this energy is coming in. I'm going to let it burn away what no longer serves me. I'm going to let it burn away the karma that I know that is here in myself, in the self that I have been being, so that I can release the self potential in my soul, okay, my blueprint. Let this ignite your spiritual passion, your higher sense of love, your love of everyone, even people who annoy you, all right? But most of all, love for yourself. Now, you can direct the energy and not be overwhelmed by it, so please use it. And the moon is now square Mars. This is another aspect, because a square forces action by saying, well, no, we burned the bridge down, figure out another way. Okay, well, yeah, we made your furniture for you, but the warehouse burned down, or somebody stole it all, or, the warehouse has been locked up by the government and you can't get to it. That's kind of a square energy, squaring off, blocking your way. What does it do? It's a great redirector. It says, go this way, go that way, go someplace different, try something different, okay? Now, the 18th is when the Pisces season begins. So really use this opportunity to complete the energies. And that Pisces will go right up to the equinox. So when we're together here for the dolphin retreat, we will be on a pyramid on the 20th, and we'll be doing ceremony in a sacred water cave. We'll be doing toning, all kinds of wonderful things. So matching those energies, the dolphins, the healing, the emotional healing, all those things have been designed into that retreat too, to be the most auspicious. So the other aspect really right now, those are the main ones. Venus conjunct Neptune in Pisces on the 15th. The 14th, of course, Valentine's Day. Don't buy into the commercial aspect of it. Go to the deeper or higher love. The 16th, the Sun is going to conjunct Saturn in Aquarius. So we talked a lot about that being a very important opportunity to complete the karma that's being poked up. So if all of your fears around your worthiness or money or love or your health or your security or whatever it is are coming up, don't spew them all over everybody else, right? Realize I'm starting to move forward. My communication is going to be clearer than ever, because right now Mercury is leaving its shadow phase. Okay, wonderful. So I will see you in a moment for our multi-dimensional meditation. Namaste.